Welcome to Planning Ahead with CMS.
In this second episode where we talk about the Greenbelt, we're going to talk about how development in the Greenbelt is controlled by the planning system. The Greenbelt is a contentious and politically charged topic. In part one of this series on the Greenbelt, we provided an introduction to what the Greenbelt is. In this episode, we'll take a closer look at the controls on development in the Greenbelt. We'll consider the aims of Greenbelt set out in the National Planning Policy Framework and what qualifies as inappropriate development in the Greenbelt and what might be very special circumstances. So, what are the fundamental aims of the Greenbelt according to the National Planning Policy Framework? So, we want to prevent unrestricted urban sprawl of large built-up areas, to stop neighbouring towns merging together, to protect the countryside from encroachment, to preserve the special character of historic towns, and to assist in urban regeneration by encouraging the recycling of derelict land and other urban land. The National Planning Policy Framework does provide some exceptions which allow development in the Greenbelt. For example, if you're altering or extending an existing building and this alteration doesn't result in disproportionate additions over and above the size of the original building. But then what is inappropriate development? Inappropriate development is that which is harmful to the Greenbelt and should not be approved except in very special circumstances. A local planning authority should regard the construction of a new building as inappropriate development unless it satisfies one of the exceptions that we've already discussed. Very special circumstances will not exist unless the potential harm to the Greenbelt, by reason of its inappropriateness, and any other harm is clearly outweighed by other considerations. This is a very high threshold. When considering a planning application, local planning authorities should ensure that substantial weight is given to any harm to the Greenbelt. It's unusual for a developer or a planning authority to decide that something qualifies as very special circumstances on the basis of a single factor alone. It's usually having taken into account a basket of considerations that they might reach this conclusion. Some examples are a shortfall in local housing supply or needs for a particular type of housing, for example, retirement living and student housing, the need for social infrastructure or enabling infrastructure, or if an emerging local plan indicates that the site might be allocated for development in the short-term future. There can also be community benefits and economic benefits that are taken into account. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Planning Ahead with CMS. Please join us for part 3 of our series on Greenbelt, where Josh Rizzo-Gill will delve deeper into the meaning of the term very special circumstances.